Praise God. I have another testimony to share with you today. So I know I've been ghost for a minute, but everything is going well by the grace of God. And I wanted to share this testimony with you today. Now, on January 11th, 2022, I just got home from the laundry. I was very tired. It was around 11 o'clock at night. And I literally just said a prayer and fell asleep on the bed. However, I fell asleep, in the living room. I'm thinking that it was the bed, but it was not. I fell asleep in the living room because I was so tired. So then, later on that night, around 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up on the ground. Now keep in mind, when I fell asleep, this was on a fifth floor apartment. So I fell 5 stories on my chest to the ground, to the first floor. And I was in so much pain that I couldn't even move. I was screaming at the top of my lungs for more than an hour, screaming, help, help. I could barely talk and I could barely use my voice, because I fell on my chest. And I was trying to speak as loud as possible. I'm like, help, help. And nobody heard me for more than an hour. Until my little sister heard me, and she's the one that called the ambulance for me. I went to the hospital. The first week of that hospital was just the most painful week ever. It was horrible. Certain people didn't treat me well inside of the hospital. I was discouraged. I couldn't have any visitors. I didn't want to eat nothing. I didn't want to, watch TV. I didn't want to keep in contact with anybody. Nothing. I just shielded everybody off. And I was quite depressed as well as discouraged. But then the second week, I started praying more often, and people prayed for me as well. And that's exactly when I started to become more determined to learn how to walk again. I broke 4 bones. I broke my backbone. I broke a pelvic bone. I broke my rib cage in 2 areas. So I broke 4 bones, but by the grace of God, I did not need surgery. And that was definitely a form of relief. Moving on from that, I had to learn how to walk again. I was pronounced disabled for the second time in my life, meaning that I can't work or go to school, let alone even walk. So I had to learn how to walk again. And I went out there literally on a walker, having to learn how to do everything again. Coming out of that hospital, I couldn't do nothing by myself, like take a bath, make a meal, nothing. Everything had to be, done by someone else, or I had to receive help. And now, less than 6 months later, I'm back on my feet, I'm walking, I'm healed, I didn't need surgery, all the bones are healed, and I'm better by the grace of God. That was the testimony that I wanted to share with you. So the moral of this true story is, if God could bring me back from something like that, a 5-story fall, being pronounced disabled for the second time in my life, being disabled on a walker for the last 4 months, and now I'm back on my feet. Doctors didn't believe that I would even walk again, but now I'm back on my feet again. So the moral of the story is that God is working, and God will not let you down. If I could come back from that, then whatever problem you're currently experiencing right now, God is going to help you with it. Whatever problem that you're hurting from, God is about to heal you. Receive it and believe it. For God never fails, and He knows exactly what He's doing. Trust God.